All right, so a couple of guys messed around and got a triple double this week. Well, welcome to All In Fantasy Basketball Podcast, where we have Randy, Max, and myself. We're gonna talk about some of the stats and everything that you guys like to see. We're gonna cut down the podcast to a two-part segment this week and see if that works better for you guys. The first half, we're gonna talk a lot more about the hard facts and everything if you're really into the fantasy basketball statistics. In the second part, we're going to talk about more about our opinion-based stuff, where you can talk about the rumor mill and trades that might happen, things that are possible if you like picking up sleepers and those kind of things. All right, so I guess first thing we'll talk about the guys that got triple doubles this week. We have Russell Westbrook from Oklahoma City Thunder and Hassan Whiteside from the Miami Heat. Do you guys want to talk about a little bit about that? Max, you want to go first?
11 blocks is crazy. The last time someone got that was like JaVale McGee, was it?
I actually
Yeah, I remember. Yes, I think it was JaVale McGee with like a triple double with like rebounds, points, and blocks.
the last person who did it, I don't know if it was JaVale McGee, but I know that if that was the only other person that has done it in the past, well, I know that Whiteside did do it, I think last year too, right? Or something, or maybe earlier this season.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like so, triple doubles with blocks is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, people average 2 blocks a game. It's not like you like average like 6 rebounds a game and then suddenly you shoot up to like 10. That's pretty normal. But then people average like 2 blocks a game. If you
Tho-
average 2 blocks a game, you're really good. But you go for 11.
those
Who was
11
who
blocks.
was Miami facing?
I don't know which game or who are they playing, but I mean those 11
They were
blocks.
playing Denver.
Oh yes,
Denver?
yes, because they had a lot of
It was
drivers.
against Denver,
They were
and he did
driving a
it
lot.
earlier this season against Minnesota. He had 10 blocks, 14 rebounds, and 22 points.
And it's kind of the same thing. Both teams do like to drive to the basket a lot. And
Yeah.
you just can't do that with Hassan Whiteside there. He's such a great defender. Um, and
Yeah.
those 11 blocks could win you the game for your week, for your fantasy matchup. That could easily win you that
Yeah.
category. Um, but 11 blocks, if you think about it, for the Miami Heat team itself, that's a minimum of 22 points that he stopped the other
Yeah.
team from scoring.
Most teams don't get more than 3 blocks a game. Like if you get 5 blocks in a game, that's pretty good. Like entire team.
Mm.
That's pretty
And
impressive.
the rest of his stat line was the 19 points, 17 rebounds. Which 17 rebounds is pretty beastly as well too,
Yeah, that's pretty beastly.
right? And then we also had Russell Westbrook, who his triple double wasn't as spectacular, but I mean he's still a triple double is a triple double. You can't complain. Randy, you want to give us some
12
info on that?
points. 12
12
points.
points, 10 assists, 11 rebounds. Also got you 2 steals. No threes, surprisingly.
He didn't really score that much.
12 points. What a scrub.
Knowing Westbrook, you want him to score at least 20 points, but I guess when he's getting a triple double, you can't really complain. But I mean, these are the type of numbers that he's putting up on a nightly basis, right? So, um,
Just
solid
just
player.
some additional statistics here. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging 19 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. He's averaging a triple double.
That's ridiculous. Like, if you have him on your fantasy team, like he's easily, I would say in the top five of all fantasy players right now. Especially if you're in an 8 category league where turnovers don't count. Like he's godly. We also have another guy who's been really good as of late, Super Mario. Mario Chalmers from the Memphis
Greatest of all time.
Grizzlies. He Mike Conley's out with an injury, and in the last 5 games, Mario Chalmers has been playing really well. And I mean, we we know that he's shown us glimpses of this in the Miami Heat, but he's just never been consistent. But there has been games where he was playing with a big three with a LeBron James and everything, where he did some crazy shit. But what do you think about his like performance in these past 5 games and stuff?
I think he's got what it takes. I think He's got what it takes. He looked pretty bad in Miami, like with the eye test, not the stat test. But he looked pretty bad in Miami that last year. It was like pretty lost, obviously. You know, when you're playing with LeBron, everyone around you becomes like a lot better, right? But then like now I feel like he's like finding his groove again, and he's like flowing into offense a little bit more. And obviously, Mike Conley going down does help, especially when you have a really good passing big man in like Marcus All. Then it definitely helps. You get fed shots.
I think more of the similar point. I think Mario got lost in Miami. They brought in Norris Cole. They brought in a bunch of people. He had no confidence left. He was just playing awful.
Dragic, that made things different.
Yeah, once
And
they
now,
brought in the Dragon, like he knew he wasn't going to be starting. I already mentioned that normally he would not be a starter on any other team, and the only reason he's starting right now is because Conley's out as well too. And plus they had Norris Cole at the time. They brought in Shabazz Napier, so it was like they had way too much depth in the point guard position. But
well, the problem is they all sucked though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
What makes it even better? That's champion Mario Chalmers for you with 2 rings.
And now he's playing really well with Conley out. How do you think? Like, do you think this is enough to like earn him a little bit more minutes when Conley does come back, or do you think he's just gonna return back to non-relevancy?
I think
once he finds his rhythm, he's gonna like increase his production. Because sometimes like all a player needs is like to get some legs under them, play a little bit more, and then they can like find that consistency and get that confidence. Mm-hmm. So I think his numbers are still going to be higher than when he was like non-relevant. But then definitely when Conley comes back, he's bench warming again.
I have a different opinion. I don't know where he's going to get his minutes from. If Conley comes back and takes his 35 minutes a game, Matt Barnes is back from his suspension. But then that's more of a small forward, but Tony Allen plays a little shooting guard. Courtney Lee is their shooting guard.
Right.
I guess he still gets his backup minutes at the point guard, but I don't know if he's going to get, the 36 minutes he's been averaging. And I don't think he's efficient enough to produce with just 20 minutes a game.
Right, and in the last 5 games, although he's putting up pretty good numbers and everything like that, but he does have a 3.4 turnover ratio as well, too. So, obviously, he's putting up nice numbers, but not efficiently.
Yeah. Well.
And then we have Jamal Crawford from the LA Clippers. I think last week we talked about JJ Redick being just scoring like a madman that he is. And we also have Jamal Crawford, who's picking up the offensive slack as well with Blake Griffin out, and also DeAndre Jordan. Do you think that, in terms of what he's been doing in the last 5 games, again, it's the same type of thing with the real MVP, Lou Williams. Same thing with JJ Redick. These are all empty points. Like 17 points a game, 2.03s a game in the last 5. The points look really, really nice. And if you have a guy that's only looking at points and everything, you might be able to get a good deal out of Jamal Crawford if you trade him right now. Like, what do you think about that?
I would agree. I would definitely agree because it's just like he's like the prototypical 6-man where you just bring him off the bench to do like scoring, and that's literally all he does. It's like Leandro Barbosa, Lou Williams, but like outside of just like points, it may be like 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal. That's basically it for them. Mm-hmm. So like if you're not hurting for scoring, you can trade him for someone who is hurting for scoring. I was never a fan of these players. I mean, like they're important, and like Lou Williams had his burn in Toronto, and like I liked him for a little bit, but then at the end of the day, like 1 rebound, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 1 steal. That's like,
I agree with Max. Looking at his season average, he's averaging 12 points this season. So more than likely, he's probably going to slowly creep back down to 12. So you may as well get some value for him because his efficiency isn't what's going to do it for you. Great from the line, but he's still shooting about 40% from the field. Like when he's hot, he'll do stuff for you, but do you want to be the guy that takes a chance on him when he shoots 20% that week?
And how many free throws does he attempt a game to make that high field goal or free throw percentage worth it? Right? It's like less than 3 a game. Average.
He averages 3, but he's shooting like 93%. To be fair,
but it's not going to help you if you have a guy like Andre Drummond who shoots 30% and he shoots like 10 free throws a game, right? Like if you have a really really good free throw shooting team already, then yeah, he can help you there. But if you have a guy like that that's going to tank it, those 3 free throws a game aren't going to be a major factor for you. You want a guy like DeMar DeRozan who shoots like 80-90% and he shoots like 10 free throws a game. That guy is somebody who's going to carry you in free throws.
I agree.
Yeah.
Phoenix Suns, Mirza Teletovic. Last 5 games, he's been playing really well as well. The main reason here is because Markieff Morris is in the doghouse. Like he's getting a lot of healthy DNPs, coach's decision. What do you guys have on Mirza? Randy, you want to start?
Oh, sure. Well, like you said, he's benefited from Markieff being in a doghouse, getting next to no minutes. He's also benefiting from the fact that Eric Bledsoe has been out, so that's just more shots for everybody. People got to score. But overall, I think he's still a streaky shooter. Mm-hmm. He can fill it up. So if you're willing to take a chance, why not? Because he can do it for you. You just got to remember, there was a stretch of 4 games where he scored less than 10 points. So as quickly as it comes, he can quickly go.
Now, you did mention that he is a streaky shooter. I mean, if you had him in the last 5 games, he's been killing it from 3-point line. Like 4 3-pointers per game in the last 5 games. The downside is that he doesn't provide you much with any defensive stats. 0 blocks a game, 0.4 steals a game. So he's gonna put up threes. He's gonna get you points. He's gonna get you a little bit of rebounds. But aside from that, he's not gonna fill the fantasy lines all around. But he's a good role player, I would say, if you have him in one of your final 3 spots on your team. He's a good plug for your lineups. There's also Amir Johnson from the Boston Celtics. The Boston frontcourt is kind of weird right now because they have so much depth there, but surprisingly, like a lot of them are really really productive. And we have Amir Johnson who's playing in Boston. And what do you have in regards to Amir, Max?
I think he's consistent, and like if he had no ankle issues, I would be a big fan of him because like every night he would 10 points, like 10 plus points, a bunch of rebounds, close to like a double-double, and then he picks up assists here and there. Oh, at least in Toronto he did. And he has like a very like pretty good field goal percentage, and he's a decent like 75 to 80% free throw shooter as well, as like from memory. So like he's consistent and he's reliable, except for his ankle. And in stretches in Toronto, he would always like play really well, then bam, out for like 1 or 2 weeks, and then he comes back and then like does crap for like 2 weeks, gets back into form, out with a hamstring injury, and then rinse and repeat. So I would be very cautious. You can always take a gamble with him, and that he's not going to get hurt. I think how is he with injury this season? He's not too bad. He didn't go out for any like extended periods of time. So maybe the role he's playing next to like Olynyk or something, really helped him. But then just take a look at his injury history and just be careful.
Yeah, he's always been a guy that has a lot of heart when he plays. He plays with a lot of energy. He hustles. And that's why we loved him as a Toronto Raptor. Like when he plays hard. The thing is, his ankle injuries do bother him. But even as a healthy Amir Johnson right now, the downside to his situation is that he has to share time with like Jared Sullinger, David
Olynyk.
Lee, Kelly Olynyk. So it's a really crowded front court, and I mean, unless he proves that he can maintain this kind of production over these other guys, like it's everyone on that team in the front court is in and out. Like the only
Yeah.
really reliable guy on the Celtics right now is Isaiah Thomas, who's been balling, by the way.
Yeah.
For me, Amir Johnson, no, like you said, 6 years with the Raptors, so props for him. In terms of his production, looking back at his Toronto years, when he did get significant minutes, he struggled to average like 10 points, 7 rebounds. So, and this is with, again, very high field goal percentage, but awful free throw percentage. In terms of blocks, he did average approximately 1 block a game. So if he can get the minutes he's getting now consistently, I think you're looking at 10 points, 7 rebounds, 1 block with good field goal percentage. If that is what you're looking for, then yeah, go ahead and get yourself some Amir Johnson.
Does he have like poor free throw now? I remember like there was like one season where he was like hovering around like at like 70 to 80 or something. I don't recall him being a poor
He
free
had
throw
one
shooter.
good year in the Raptors where he shot well, but on his career, he's a 68% shooter.
Yeah, I remember something
Oh.
between 60 to
All right,
70.
okay.
But he did have a
All right,
good
well,
year.
I take that back then. Like in my mind, my Amir Johnson in my mind is like he's a good long 2. He can hit 3 occasionally. Like he can hit it enough for you to like close out on him. And he does not complain about having a reduced role, and he just does whatever he's told, and he doesn't really complain. So like that's why, like yeah, he's good for a team, but maybe not so good for fantasy.
Yeah.
Utah Jazz, Rudy Gobert. If you drafted him in the second round, he finally had one game this season where that's what you probably expected to see him doing throughout the entire year. 18 rebounds, 5 blocks, 18 points on 6 of 8 field goal percentage. Obviously, the Utah front court is pretty depleted. Injuries everywhere. Even Rudy Gobert was injured, and he just came back, played 3 games. Do you think this is something that's gonna be kept up? Like they need offense. Do you think he can continue providing this offense? We know he can provide rebounds and blocks. Randy?
I have Rudy on one of my teams, and I took him, I think, in the 3rd round. And I have high hopes that he can at least be very productive. I don't know if he can average 18 points a game. He shot 6 for 8.
Right.
So I don't know. And again, a big qualifier. This was against the Los Angeles Lakers. Everyone looks a little better when they're facing the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's true.
The 18 rebounds, 18 points, I don't think that's going to be an everyday occurrence. So I put him in maybe a Hassan Whiteside, but not as good as the potential in terms of scoring. He's going to give you double-digit rebounds, a ton of blocks, and maybe 10 points. I think Hassan Whiteside can maybe get you 15 points a game, but I don't think Rudy's game is that developed yet on the offensive side.
Yeah, just from the eye test, he didn't look that good on offense. I mean, he can get like garbage points, like rebounds, putbacks. So if Gordon Hayward's breaking it, then he might see an increase in points. But then from like an offensive threat, I don't think he's there. Just keep him for rebounds and blocks.
Would you say that you're happy with drafting him in the 3rd round, Randy? Or if you were to do it again, where would you have picked him up? If you would pick him up at all?
In the third round, I'm not upset with the fact I got him in the third round. If I got him in the second round, I think I'd be pretty pissed because he's been hurt this long. But in the third, or maybe the fourth, if he slipped, it's not too bad. Because you're looking at double-digit rebounds and 3 blocks a game. Where are you really going to get that past the third round? You're not going to get that in the fourth, fifth round. So, you got to pay if you want those stats.
You know who would give you those kind of numbers if he was healthy? Greg Oden. Which leads us to
Greg
our
Oden
next
was
topic.
healthy. If Greg Oden was healthy, he's definitely going in the first round. The guy's played 82 games in 5 seasons. He played 20% of the games. It feels so bad. I feel so bad for the guy.
I was so happy
I
when
thought
he
he was really,
joined the Miami Heat.
yeah, it was on Miami. Yeah,
I was like,
I was like,
this guy is finally
Oh,
get
I was
a
like-
ring. He doesn't even deserve a ring. He's gonna get one before
he
T-Mac.
scored a point.
But they didn't win that year, so unfortunately for him. But yeah, so our next segment, the Greg Oden Clinic, the GOC. This is where we talk about some players that have got injured recently. There haven't been a lot of injuries, like major injuries at least. A lot of people with ankle issues and stuff like that. But I guess these two are the big injuries, or these 3 next guys are the big injuries that we have. And you probably want to keep these guys out of your lineup. One guy for sure. First guy we're going to talk about is the Dragon, Goran Dragic. We seem like we talk about him a lot on this podcast as well, just because he has been underperforming, and we always want to talk about how he can get to that level of play where he used to be on again. Just as we talk about him potentially getting back to that level again, maybe this is an all-in curse where we talk about somebody and we boost them and they get injured. But he suffered a grade 1 calf strain. Grade 1 is minor, so it's not a huge one. But chances are he's going to miss a couple of games, so even if he comes back at the end of the week, I would say don't play him in the lineup. But otherwise, when he does come back, do you guys think he'll pick up where he left off, or do you think
Pick
he's
up where he
gonna be
left
a
off, which is
shitter
like
again?
kind of mediocre.
Yeah. Do you think that he'll ever, or maybe continue to get better? Like, he's been pretty disappointing this week or this year.
Yeah.
But
He's
he's
been
obviously not
disappointing.
gonna be like he was in Phoenix. But do you think he can maybe still get? Is there still room to improve for him in Miami here?
I really don't know. With the resurgence of Dwayne Wade, it doesn't look like they're getting by without the productivity of Dragic right now. So I really don't know about him. And plus, like they have I think he's probably gonna get traded. They do have a rookie point guard, which they're pretty high on. So I don't think he's I don't think he's in their long-term plans. If he plays well, then maybe, but then I just don't see it happening.
I think in terms of, I think Dragic will be with Miami for a long time. He signed a pretty big contract, right?
Yeah, he did.
I
Did,
think
right?
they
Yeah.
have bigger issues in other areas than with Dragic, and especially with the way Wade is. Eventually, Wade is gonna take a smaller role, and I think that's
Yeah.
when Dragic will actually step up more, because he's a ball
And if you're
handling point
Pat
guard.
Riley this season,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, yeah.
Like Dragic is a ball handling point guard.
Yeah.
And he's gonna he is a slasher. He plays a lot like how Steve Nash used to play as well too, a lot of driving. But with Dwayne Wade playing, Dwayne Wade also has the ball a lot. So I think it's
Yeah.
hard for Dragic to get into rhythm.
Yeah. And if I was also saying earlier, if you're a Pat Riley, Dragic is probably the least bit worries this offseason. You can't sign Whiteside again due to the new the caps problem. So yeah.
Did
If
Whiteside
you're
get his
Miami,
contract already?
no, I don't think Miami can sign him back because right now he's on veteran minimum, but he can demand money this offseason or something. And I don't think because they have Bosch and they have Wade and they have Dragic, I don't think they have enough cap space to resign Whiteside unless they trade Dragic or something. Even then, I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with their cap situation. But
I think.
I know for a fact they have problems re-signing Whiteside.
Well, I know like
Oh yeah, I
Whiteside.
think you're right. Yep.
Yeah, with Whiteside, he's great for you on your fantasy team for sure. He's gonna get you blocks, rebounds, and points on a high percentage. But on the actual team itself for the Miami Heat, um, surprisingly, they play worse defense when he's on the floor. When they're playing, they have worse defense. Um, so, and also the other thing is that they say he's kind of a head case, so he's hard to deal
A little
with,
bit.
and maybe that's one of the reasons why they don't want to keep him around either, especially if they are serious and they're trying to win a championship. They want somebody who's gonna be disciplined and like fully invested, right?
I think they'll still want to like keep Whiteside because that kind of talent you just don't get that often. I mean, he's like, yeah, it's just if they could resign Whiteside, they would probably try to do that. But like right now, they just have a really difficult issue. And like the plus of having I guess like if Whiteside's not playing off the court, it's what Chris Bosh moving to the center position, and Chris Bosh is like
He
very
did that for
good.
years.
Yeah,
So
he
it's
did
not
that,
like
and
he
Chris
can't.
Bosh is a very, very good defender. So like, it's more like Chris Bosh is like a plus, less so than like Whiteside being a minus. At least that's what like I feel like it is.
Hmm.
I think with the trend of moving the small ball, having a big center that defends isn't as important,
Yeah.
especially if your center has no post game. Clippers have this curse with DeAndre Jordan where he offers nothing outside of putback dunks,
And
Yeah.
alley oops,
and that really hurts you in your championship run.
right? Um, so we also have the next guy, Joakim Noah, Chicago Bulls. Um, he's out for the season. So what do you have on him, Randy?
Um, Again, all the injured players end up on my team. So yeah, I do have Joakim Noah on one of my two teams, and right now I don't know what I'm going to do to replace him. But overall, looking forward to more positive things. We can see maybe more minutes go to Taj Gibson, Nikolai Mirkic, and Bobby Portis.
Free Bobby Portis, guys. Free Bobby Portis. This is the time.
Who's Chicago's backup center? Like, who's gonna step up? Well, I guess he's not like Joakim Noah's not like starting anymore.
Well, they have
I don't
He,
think
Pau
he
he hasn't
Gasol.
started in a while. He's been
Yeah.
injured and like been benched for a while. Like he's been coming off the bench for a while, anyways. But right now, their starting center is Pau Gasol.
And
Oh
he's
yeah, yeah,
he's
that's right.
balling.
That's a one guy I forgot. Yeah, Pau Gasol's ball.
Pau
It's
Gasol
not
is
gonna hurt
balling.
Chicago as a team, but then like, yeah, like, I guess like people like I drafted Joakim Noah for old time's sake because he was really good a couple of seasons ago, and he just drops off the face of the earth. So
Right.
I don't know what happened to him, but then like this guy is like whatever.
Yeah, he was really
Pau
good.
Gasol, what's happened?
He was getting a lot of rebounds, and he was a good passing big man too. Like when they
Yeah, he was a triple double threat. I
Yeah.
mean, not on a Westbrook level, but he
Jimmy
was a
Butler
triple
was
double
still a
threat.
scrub at the time.
Yeah,
Derrick Rose was out, and Joakim Noah was getting triple doubles. So it was like, what the hell is
Yeah.
happening here? Like Joakim Noah was taking the ball up the court.
yeah, he was good. Like he was really good.
Stupid. But yeah, he dislocated his shoulder, so yeah, he's out for the season. He's gonna go get surgery for
Wow.
that. Out of these three guys, who do you think you should pick up, like between Gibson, Mirotic, and Portis?
Bobby Portis. I mean, I like Mirotic and I like Taj Gibson as well, but then it's probably Bobby Portis. I mean, Taj Gibson has been like a little bit underwhelming this season. Mirotic as well.
I think the person to go get is probably Taj Gibson. I think Nikolai is going to get the minutes he's going to get, so he's not going to get like better. But I think Taj Gibson might have room to get better. Now he's going to get the chance to play the center and the power forward, so his minutes might go up, and he might be able to actually do more.
I think there's arguments for all three players. Yeah, Todd Gibson, he was the main backup originally, so it's reasonable that he's gonna end up filling up this time that
Yeah.
Noah's leaving behind. Mirotic, he can definitely light it up from the floor, make a lot of 3-pointers. But he can also play small forward position as well too, and I think he's spending a lot of time
Yeah.
doing that. And Bobby Portis, if they decide to go with Bobby Portis instead of Taj Gibson, just to give the rookie some run, we all know that he has a lot of potential to put up some nice fantasy numbers. But I think for Bobby Portis, he's more of a stash guy. I think you should pick him up just to hang on to him, just because the trade deadline's coming around, and we want to see Bobby Portis get freed. Once he gets freed up for more playing time, like I think he's gonna be a really nice sleeper this year.
I'm not on this Bobby Portis boat. I'm not. I feel like you're getting on this boat way too soon. Maybe next season, but not this season. Chicago still wants to win. With Joakim Noah out, they're not going to trade Taj Gibson and bank on the rookie to get them to the deep into the playoffs. Sorry.
Come on, man, Bobby Portis.
Great
Maybe they
kid,
trade
but
him
not this
for,
season. Not this
Maybe
season.
they'll trade him for a piece.
For all you guys that are watching or listening, if you don't know, I'm the guy that finds these players that are extremely talented, but I find them like maybe a year or two too early. So if he doesn't break out this year, draft him in 2017 or something.
All right, first round in 2017.
If you're in a dynasty league, then sure, take a look at Bobby Portis near the end of the season. But if you're in a redraft league, I say you can leave him on the waiver unless you're in a really, really deep league, 16 plus teams. I really don't see why you need a Bobby Portis.
I have him in both my 10-man and 12-man league. I don't care. I'm stashing him. It's like when I had Jeremy Lin when he was in Golden State. I just had him on my bench. I was like, if Stephen Curry or what's the other guy's name?
Clay?
No. Before they had
what was
Clay.
the first? Like Monte Ellis?
Monte Ellis. Yeah, I was like, if one of those guys goes down, it's Jeremy Lin time. But they just kept playing 40 minutes a game, so he never got a chance to shine there.
I mean, back then it was pretty smart to bank on Steph Curry getting injured because he did.
Yeah.
Too bad they just didn't play him anyways.
Right. Next guy we have Utah Jazz, Trevor Booker. He has a concussion, which means that he's going to have to do some testing and everything like that in order for him to get back on the court, make sure he passes the concussion protocols. Derek Favors is also out, and Rudy Gobert just came back. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for Trey Lyles here to pick up some extra minutes. And he's been playing really well for the past 3 games. Max, do you have any information on Trey Lyles here?
He just got 17 points, which is pretty good. Other than that, I actually don't know too much about this guy.
Randy?
Yeah, but he's been popping up in my YouTube subscription for like highlight videos. So like I'm pretty impressed because I've never heard of this guy before. But then Derek Favors is gonna get like tested for concussion. He's probably gonna get like at least like it's like the shortest time would be at least like one or 2 weeks because they're pretty careful with concussion and stuff. So like if you have Trey, you should run him for a little bit, definitely. Like claims, yeah. He like I watched it, like he looks good, like in terms of like he has like some sort of offensive game and like he does get like rebounds and stuff, and he can shoot a little bit. Like I guess all white guys. So like yeah, I'm okay with this guy.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I think he's got to miss at least a game or two. So that means I don't think he's playable next week. So the question is, do you think he's going to be playable 2 weeks from now? Because I don't think that's going to be the case when Derek Favors comes back. Hopefully, I have him on my team. Please come back.
Well, never mind. Sorry, I think that Trey Lyles is a black guy. Okay, sorry, I take that back. But he can still shoot threes.
Another thing that you might have picked up on here now is if you're watching our fantasy teams and stuff, and you're thinking about next year's draft, don't pick guys that are on Randy's team. They're just gonna get injured. Whatever Randy has, just leave him for somebody else.
Everyone I play just instantly dies. Carmelo out. Like it's god awful this year. But on the positive side, let's look for opportunities. With Trey Lyles out, Favors out, I might be ready to jump back on Jeff Whitey.
Jeff Whitey. Jeff Whitey.
I'm gonna have to think about this tonight.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for this the part one of this segment this week. If you want to stick around, we're gonna leave an annotation or a little box where you can click, whether it's under here or maybe over Max's face. I don't know. We'll decide that later, but click on that and you can go into our second half segment where we're gonna talk more about some trade rumors, people that you might want to sell high or buy low on, those kind of things, and it's less factual. So we're gonna have a bit more fun there, just giving our opinions. So yeah, if you liked what we're doing with this week in our new format, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about it. If you want to tell us what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, how we can make things better, let us know in the comments below. Smash the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.
Peace out.